What's up, money Moicano here, and this video is brought to you by Legendz, my brother. Check it out, the link on the first commentary on the commentary section, my brother. 1 year ago, I went to Paris and beat the shit out of BSD, and now it's roughy time. I think he will beat BSD, and I will talk about that later on the video. And then we have Imavov versus Borralho, a great fight. So let's go in almost every fight of this card. But first of all, like button, my brother, leave your comment and let's fucking go to the video. First fight of the night, Fakhretdinov versus Andrea Gustafsson, my brother. I think that's one of the best fights of the card, even though Andrea Gustafsson is a guy that sometimes people can call him boring because he likes to put the guys on the cage. He likes to use his wrestling, not really his wrestling, but more likely his clinch to grind his opponent in a decision. And I think it will be very hard to do that with Rinat. He beat so many good fighters on this 170 division. He's 5-0 in UFC and he has one draw against Eliseu Zaleski, but he was winning the fight. That was in Brazil. He got a little bit tired on the third round and then they give 10-8 to Zaleski. And then there was a draw. But that's going to be a very fun fight to watch. I think Andrea Gustafsson will win. He will execute his game plan, but that's not gonna be easy because Rinat is a very good striker. I think UFC likes Andrea Gustafsson. I think that's why he's putting him especially on France, because he's from Europe too, against a Russian fighter. Second fight of the night, but I see UFC putting a lot of hype behind Andrea Gustafsson. Next fight of the night, you have Tavares versus Robert Bryczek. And let's be honest, Bryczek, Polish guy, he has only one fight in UFC and he lost to Igor Putaria, my brother. And if you lost to Igor Putaria, you're not that good, you know? Look this technique that he's doing, my brother, punching the other motherfucker in the balls. That's unbelievable. That's very un-Republican, my brother. But it is what it is. And he's fighting Tavares, 21-10, a veteran in the UFC. But let's be honest, Tavares has a good takedown defense and he's a good striker. But if somebody take a Dagestani wrestler and make him a striker, that would be Tavares. He's a unanimous decision machine on the striking game. And if you want to see what he's good at, watch Adesanya versus Tavares. He's very good at taking punches and very good at takedown defenses. But he was destroyed by Drico du Plessis. But I think for that one, he will beat Robert Bryczek. Why? Because if you lose to Igor Putaria, my brother, it will be very hard for you to beat somebody on the UFC. Okay, so I have Tavares. Next fight of the card, Patterson versus Trey Waters. Patterson used to be a 155. He lost to Ashmus, the Jew from the UFC. After that, he went to the 170 and he has 5 wins. So he's good striker, good jiu-jitsu guy, very tall for the division, and he's fighting Trey Waters. Brother, I don't want to sound too disrespectful, but Trey Waters sucks, my brother. Watch his fight against Gabriel Bonfim and you're going to see. Not good at striker. He was submitted by a Von Flue choke. I just think Patterson is better than him, and he will win. That's it. Next fight of the card, you have Marcin Tybura versus Ante Deija. My brother, let's be honest. Ante Deija, I don't know if he's a striker or wrestler, former PFL champion, but from the fights that I watch, he always shoots for the takedown. And you have to realize, back in the day, PFL didn't have USADA. So this guy probably is on fucking juice, my brother. He's in fucking steroids. So let me tell you what's gonna happen on this fight, okay? Anthony Deija probably is not taking supplements anymore. He's not taking the juice because now he's in the UFC. And then he's gonna feel and he's going to lose to fucking Marcin Tybura. That's the truth. Like Walter Walker, my brother. And then he will be equalizing his system and then he will win like 3 fights straight, just like the Johnny Walker brother, my brother. Listen to me. So I have Marcin Tybura beating Ante Deija for that one, okay? Next fight of the night, we have Omar C versus Brandson Ribeiro. Brandson Ribeiro is not that really good. He is like negative record in the UFC, and he's fight Omar C, a French guy, 11-1. Both guys are not great wrestler, not great jiu-jitsu, but I just think Omar Sy is better than Brandon Ribeiro on the grappling department. So if the fight is on the stand-up, I think Brandon Ribeiro wins, but I think Omar Sy will take him down and will beat him. Next fight of the night, William Gomis versus Roberto Ruchala. William Gomis, he almost got beat up by Jean Silva, brother, in the UFC Rio. He got sick and he didn't fight in Rio. He escaped that one, and then in France, he beat João de Sombrito. I think that was a wrong decision, in my opinion, but it is what it is. He lost his last bout, and then they put Roberto Ruchala to fight him, a guy from Octagon. But let me tell you something about William Gomis. The last time that I was in France, he was fighting João de Sombrito, like I said. I saw him throwing up really, really bad, my brother. So he's very tall for the division. I think it's very hard for him to make 145. And he fighting Roberto Ruchala. Only one loss on his record and 11 wins. A very good polished striker. If you see on the video, the way he lost his fight was kind of funny. The guy was fucking tickling on the fucking ribs. But other than that, he's a good striker. Good takedown defense. Not great jiu-jitsu. Robert Ruchala as an underdog is a good bet for that fight, okay? Patricio Pitbull versus Loin Nikita. My brother, I didn't believe when Patricio Pitbull went to the UFC and then he lost to, you know, the Mexican motherfucker, my brother. And then he beat Danigi. And I say, okay, they will respect him a little bit more. But no, brother. They put him against a guy that is making his debut in UFC and is a very dangerous guy. Loin Nikita, 16-1, and he's only lost. I don't know what happened, you know. He broke his foot or something. I could not understand what happened. But in reality, he's a very good striker, very powerful, use the right hand a lot. He's clearly a featherweight, but he's very brave, very courageous, and he even got the belt on the lightweight division. So he's champion in the featherweight and lightweight division on one of the best events on the Europe Octagon. So not an easy matchup for Patricio Pitbull. If that fight was 5 years ago, I think Patricio Pitbull will be very favored on the fight. But since Patricio Pitbull is 38, is a much harder fight than people think. It's not gonna be easy, but I still have Patricio Pitbull. Modest Buskowska versus Paul Craig. My brother, let me tell you something. Paul Craig only has one win on his last 7 fights. So I will be very fast on that one. Modest Buskowska is winning. UFC knows what is about to happen, and he's trying to transfer Paul Craig's hype on Modest Buskowska, okay? That's it, my brother. That's the take from this fight. Borralho versus Mason Jones. That's a fun fight. Mason Jones had been in UFC before. He lost some. He got kicked out of the UFC, but then he got 4 wins, and they bring him back to fight Jeremy Stephens, and that was a good fight. And Borralho, he went in UFC by the Contender Series, and he's a good fighter, but I have Mason Jones winning that one. And we go to the co-main event of the evening, my brother. Benoit Saint-Denis versus Mauricio Ruffi. Let me start with Benoit Saint-Denis. He fought in 170 against Eliseu Zelensky, and he got beat up pretty bad on that one, you know. After that, he got 5 wins and beating guys like Thiago Moises, Frevola. He was doing very well on the 155 division. People were like behind him. UFC was supporting him a lot. And then they were saying he will be the next champion and all that shit. And then they scheduled him to fight Poirier on the Miami card. He lost second round knockout. And everybody was saying that was because of staph infection and all that stuff. And they say, okay, giving him the bald money Moicano, and let's see what happened in France. And then he got beat up pretty bad on the main event. Then he was supposed to fight Joel Alvarez in Canada, but Alvarez withdrew, and they find some motherfucker to fight him that nobody knew. And he looked bad, in my opinion. The truth is, BSD is slow. He's a good grappler and he's strong, but he relies too much on his power, on physical attributes, not on technique, you know. That's going to be a very hard night for him because Mauricio Ruffi, 12-1, and he beat likes of Magomed. I don't know his name. He was from the Contender Series. His debut in UFC was great, one of the best ever. And I think as far as striking, Mauricio Rufo is one of the best in the UFC. That's the truth. The way he beat Bobby Green was impressive. And in my opinion, he will knock Benoit Saint-Denis on the first round, on the very first round. Benoit Saint-Denis has a chance, especially if the fight goes to the second round. If you remember, James Long Top had a chance against Mauricio Rufo because Mauricio Rufo threw everything at him and he got a little bit tired. But you have to remember that fight was on the catch weight because Long Top could not make the weight. So I don't think Benoit Saint-Denis will have the advantage on the strength. But if he can survive, if he can manage to survive, go to the second round, that would be good for him. But I don't think so. I think he's very slow, and I think Mauricio Rufo will beat him on the first round. And then we have the main event, Nassourdine Imavov vs Caio Borralho. Imavov, a good striker. I don't think he is very good at takedowns and takedown defense. Sometimes he got taken down. His last fight, he knocked Adesanya out. You know, he beat Brendan Allen. That's a pretty good victory. He beat Cannonier. He beat Dolidze. So overall, he's a good MMA fighter, pretty much a striker. And then we have Caio Borralho, 17-1. He always faces strikers. So I think he will have the edge on the fight because he's very good at timing. He can take down Nassourdine Imavov. And I have Caio Borralho winning that one. And that was the video from the prediction, my brother. Thank you so much, everybody that's watching. And, you know, this fucking channel is dead, my brother. You have to help me. How you help that shit? Like and comment that shit, okay? And watch Show Me the Money. Thank you so much, everybody that's helping us. And if you can, go Legendz.com. And thank you so much, my brother. Os.